عدو فاتخذوه عدوا إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير. The main goal of shaitan is that me and you would enter Jahannam and would follow him. And this is a promise he made to Allah. And he plans that he defeats you. To the extent that if he wants to defeat you today, he will plan it from yesterday. If he wants to defeat you tomorrow, he will plan it from tonight. And this is a hadith that our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. And how he does it is, when you go to sleep, there's something that he does to you that our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us. And if you're not aware and you don't fight back, then the next day you've lost it. Our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam states in a hadith that if one of us goes to sleep, what does shaitan do? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم يعقد الشيطان على قافية رأس أحدكم إذ هو نام ثلاث عقد. Whenever you go to sleep, shaitan comes and he ties 3 knots. Let me take this example. Whenever you go to sleep, shaitan will tie 3 knots. This is the first, the second, and let's say this is the third. على قافية رأس أحدكم. He ties 3 knots when you go to sleep. And each knot, he puts a spell, and he says, عليك ليل طويل فارقد. You have a long night, sleep. You have a long night, sleep. You have a long night, sleep. Every night when none of us goes to sleep. And this is the same way that those who do sihr, those who do witchcraft and sihr, that's how they do. They tie a knot and they put a spell. Allah talks about them in the Holy Quran. He says, نَفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And each knot that he ties, he says, عَلَيْكَ لَيْلٌ طَوِيلٌ فَارْقُدْ. You have a long night and sleep. And he does this عَلَى قَافِيَةِ رَأْسِ أَحَدِكُمْ. Qafiyah is the last part of the head. If you hear the word qafiyah, means the last part. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the prophets, وَقَفَّيْنَا عَلَى أَثَارِهِمْ بِرُسُولِنَا. Ar-Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was known as the last prophet. And Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu says Ar-Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had different names. He would name himself different names, as it was narrated, as it was reported by Imam Muslim. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم أنا محمد وأحمد والمقفي والحاشر ونبي الرحمة ونبي التوبة. المقفي. So muqaffi or qafa, even in the Arabic, when you write a poem, the last poem is known as qafiyat al-bayt. So the scholars have described that qafiyat ra'si ahadikum is the last part of the head. And it has been scientifically proven that when a person goes to sleep, the area where the brain is controlled, whether you are asleep or awake, is the last part of the head. It has been scientifically proven. Now our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, he does this on the last part of your head when you go to sleep. And then he ties these 3 knots and he says, عليك ليل طويل فارقد. You have a long night, sleep. You have a long night, sleep. You have a long night, sleep. Now Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains in the hadith, if you don't untie these 3 knots when you go to sleep, when you wake up, then know that that day it's in the hands of shaitan. You'll wake up with a bad mood. But if you wake up in the morning and you untie these knots, then you'll have a beautiful day. Our Rasul says, when one of you wakes up and mentions the name of Allah, the first knot is untied. And when you wake up after that and you make wudu, the second knot is untied. When you wake up and you mention the name of Allah and you've made wudu and you pray Salat al-Fajr, the third knot is untied. Now shaitan does not have control over you the way he would have had if this knot remained the same. Now our Rasul says, if these three knots are untied, asbaha nashitun nafs. You wake up that day and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants you energy, and you wake up and you're in a good mood. But if you miss mentioning Allah, and if you miss making wudu, and if you miss praying Salat al-Fajr, then asbaha khabithun nafsi kaslana. You wake up that day and you'll be in a bad mood and you'll be lazy and you'll not be able to achieve what you wanted to achieve. So the battle that shaitan has against us starts at a very early stage. And if you want to defeat shaitan, that's how you do it. That's how you start your day. You mention Allah, you make wudu, and you pray Salat al-Fajr. If you miss one of these three, then know that the knot will remain tied. And if your situation remains like that, then know that your day is going to be messed up. Now, I wanted to share this hadith with you today to let you know that your day is going to be good bi'idhnillah. Not only would it be good, whoever who prays Salat al-Fajr ma'al jama'ah, fahuwa fi dhimmatillah. You're under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you're under the protection of Allah, what does it mean? One of the meanings that the scholars have said that whoever who dies that day, he will die in the path of Islam. And dying on the right path is the most important thing. And if you want that guarantee that you'll die on the right path, then you start your day by defeating shaitan, and you start your day by praying Salat al-Fajr in the masjid. You're under the protection of Allah. So may Allah accept our salah. May Allah allow us to defeat shaitan. That's what I wanted to share with you today, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum, ahsantum wa jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.